Come, sir.
Okay, now, dear audience, I have a few questions here for you. Do you want to start your own business in the UK, or you want to invest in existing business in the UK? And do you want to apply for sponsor license? So I think you will say yes. I can assume that. But at the same time, you need a visa to do a business in the UK, to live in the UK, and settle in the UK. Am I right? The audience is not acting now. Right?
Yes,
Ishwari?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay. So now, do you know you can sponsor yourself? I think Vichi has made it clear that yes, you can sponsor yourself. This is possible, and there is a process for the same. So what is that process? Now we need to see the process. Okay, so this is quite interesting. So you just need to follow only 4 steps. Only 4 steps to sponsor yourself. What are those 4 steps? Let us see. So the first step for you is to establish a company in the UK and then apply for a skilled worker sponsor license for your own company. Then get certificate of sponsorship from your own company. And the 4th and last step is to apply for a skilled worker visa. So in just 4 simple steps, you can sponsor yourself, but I need to shed a light on these 4 steps so that I can tell you in detail how you can follow these 4 steps, what are the requirements, so that you successfully get your sponsor license and then skilled worker visa. And then we can say that you are successful in obtaining this self-sponsorship visa. So let us see in detail. Okay. So if we talk about step number 1, you need to register your company with the company house. This can be done online, and you can do it, I think, within 30 minutes. And the interesting thing is you can hold up to 100% shareholding in your company under the previous tier 2 rules. Previously, this route was known as tier 2, but the rules were amended and it has been named as skilled worker visa now. So under the old rules, there was a cap of 10% shareholding. A sponsored employee could be a shareholder in the sponsor organization up to 10%. But now, under the new rules, there is no such ceiling, no such cap. So you can take up to 100% shareholding in your company. Then you need to register your company with the HMRC for PAYE and accounts office reference number so that you can employ people here and you can pay their salaries and make the contributions like tax and national insurance to the HMRC. Then you also need to open a business account with a bank. This is very important here, guys. Just note down this. Okay. You need to open a business account with a bank which is authorized by PRA and regulated by FCA. Now, if you see some fintech companies in the UK, you might have seen some online banks. So they are fintech companies. They are approved by FCA, but they are not approved by PRA. Not all the fintech companies. So if you open a bank account with them, yes, you can do some transactions, but that will not help you to get this sponsor license. So you need to open an account with a bank which is approved by both the authorities. So you need to check it first on their website if they are regulated, and then open an account with that bank. So I would recommend the high street banks. So open the account in that bank. Okay. Then you need to take office premises on lease or rent. If you cannot afford the office space outside, you can use your home as well. So you can show that you are working from home, you are using your living room as an office. That is also permissible. If you have virtual office, I would not recommend, that is not the best practice to use virtual office for sponsor license. But if you have, in addition to that, you need to show your workplace, the authorizing officer's workplace, so that the home office can come and visit and inspect the staff files. So, but I would not recommend the virtual office. So either you should have the office premises in some commercial building, or you can use your home as an office. Then you also need to take employer's liability insurance, which should not be less than 5 million. And on the basis of these documents, you can proceed further and apply for sponsorship license. Now, this is also very important. When you apply for a sponsor license, you need at least one person in the UK who is settled here. When we say settled, that means a person who is a British citizen or having indefinite leave to remain, or having EU settled status, or having EU pre-settled status. And you need to nominate that person as an authorizing officer, key contact, or SMS level 1 user for your sponsor license. And that person must be your director or partner, or he or she can be your employee. But that person must be a settled person. There are certain exceptions to this rule, which you can see the slide. If someone is here on a sole representative visa or tier 1 visa or on startup visa or on innovator visa or on global talent visa, they can be appointed as authorizing officer, key contact, SMS level 1 user in your sponsorship license. So that's the only exception. So you need to find someone who is settled here or someone on these visas. Now, you need to understand the role of these three persons, like key contact, authorizing officer, and SMS level 1 user. So the authorizing officer is the person who will manage your sponsorship license, and he will ensure that the company is complying with the sponsorship duties, because this license comes with many responsibilities. You need to comply with the Home Office rules, guidance, regulations, immigration rules, and also the wider UK laws like Employment Law, National Minimum Wages Act. So you need to make sure that you're complying with all the laws, including the pension for your employees. So this is the responsibility of the authorizing officer. And the key contact is the person who will be, you can say, a contact between you and the Home Office. And third role, SMS level 1 user. SMS here means sponsorship management system. So when you get your sponsorship license, the Home Office will give you access to their SMS. They will give you user ID and password. You can log in, and then you can request for course, and you can assign certificate of sponsorship. But the competent person for assigning certificate of sponsorship is the SMS level 1 user. And he will also do reporting to the Home Office if there is any change in the worker's circumstances. So these three roles are important, and the significant question here is whether you need 3 people to fill these 3 roles. No, the answer is no. So these 3 roles can be performed by the same person, one person only. So you are not required to find one person for the key contact, another person for the authorizing officer, and the other person for the SMS level 1 user. No. One person can fill all the 3 roles, subject to the condition that he is a settled person here or having anti-clearance, visa, or leave to remain in the categories we discussed previously. Clear? Now, step number 2, when you have all the documents we discussed and you have someone settled here in your company, then you can apply for a sponsorship license. Now, for sponsor license, As I said, it's a privilege. It's not a right. So you need to demonstrate, you need to establish that you are genuinely and lawfully trading in the UK. Here I'm talking about the new companies only, not the companies operating for the last more than 18 months. No, I'm just talking about the new companies, newly incorporated companies, baby companies, startup companies. So just with 1 month's account statement, you can apply for sponsorship license. So you need to show that you are genuinely and lawfully trading in the UK, and you are capable of carrying out your sponsor duties effectively, that you know the rules, you know the immigration rules, you know your duties, and you are in a position that you have a robust HR system and practices in place to meet the sponsorship duties. And then you must demonstrate that you have genuine vacancy in your organization, and that employment will meet the salary and skill level requirements of the skilled worker route, which means the person you are hiring must have relevant skills and qualifications relevant to the role. This will be the duty of the sponsor, the company, because when you get your sponsorship license, the Home Office gives you A rating, which means you are highly trusted sponsor, and this is your duty to check if the person you are sponsoring is meeting the requirements of the rules, they have relevant skills, qualification, and experience. Now, let us see the time frame and the fee for the sponsorship license. As I said, we are talking about the small companies. The application fee is only £536. And when you submit your application, the Home Office will give you 5 working days time to submit the documents. If you submit all your documents and reply to their questions, then the Home Office will decide your application within 8 weeks if you do not pay for priority. But if you pay 500 additional fee and you opt for priority, then the service time frame for the Home Office is only 10 working days. But practically speaking, they decide the application within like 3 or 4 days or 2 days, and which you received his decision, I think, within 4 days. Am I right, Vichy? So this is the time frame and the fee for the sponsorship license application.
Yes, sir. Just 4 days, sir.
Just 4 days. Okay. And that includes Saturday and Sunday as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Vichy. Now, you established your company, you applied for sponsorship license, you got your sponsor license. Step 3 for you is to get a COS from your own company. What is COS? This is certificate of sponsorship. There are 2 types of certificates of sponsorship. If you are already living in the UK as a student, as a PSW visa holder or dependent partner, whatever is the visa you have, but that is eligible for switching, then you need undefined COS from the company, from your own company. But if you are sitting abroad, because you can incorporate a company even if you are not in the UK, if you have some business idea and you want to start a business in the UK, you can do it from abroad as well. So if you are sitting outside the UK and you want to apply for the visa, you need defined course. So defined course and undefined course, you need to understand the difference between these 2 certificates of sponsorship. Now, who can assign this COS? Not you. You cannot do it yourself. So you are the owner of the company, but you cannot assign certificate of sponsorship yourself. This can be done only by SMS level 1 user. As we discussed, the level 1 user must be a settled person. Clear? Okay. Now, when we assign certificate of sponsorship, there is a fee. There are 2 fees. Number 1, you will pay course assign fee. I mean, the company will pay, not the employee, not you. That is £239 plus immigration skill charge, which is £364 per year. This is for small companies because we are discussing only small companies. For example, your own company, your SMS level 1 user is assigning a certificate of sponsorship for 5 years, then your company need to pay 364 times 5 plus 239. That is 2,059 pound. Am I right, Richie?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
My math is good, huh? Okay. So you need the company need to pay this. Here, the company cannot recoup it from the employee. You cannot pay this skill charge and course assign fee yourself. Only this will go from the company's account. If you pay from your own account, you will breach the sponsorship duties and the license will be suspended and then revoked by the Home Office. Okay. So we already discussed the difference between defined and undefined course. Let's proceed next. Okay. Step 4. So you have the course now. Your SMS level 1 user assigned the course. And now the next step for you is to apply for a skilled worker visa. You can submit your application online. Certainly, you need to pay Home Office application fee plus immigration health surcharge. And your dependent partner, your children can also apply at the same time. You're not required to wait for your visa first. They can also submit the visa applications with you. So some people think that first the lead applicant must get the visa and then the dependent partner and children can apply. No. So you can apply together. There is no such bar. All right. Now, this is also very important. You should know the cost. So for visa application, if you are applying from outside the UK, you can see the slide that you need to pay £719 for up to 3 years visa and £1,420 for more than 3 years visa, depending on the duration of your course, the validity of your course. So if your course is for more than 3 years, let's say for 5 years, you will pay £1,420 outside the UK. If you are applying inside the UK, then you will pay only £1,500 per person if the course is valid for more than 3 years. So this is per person. So the same fee is applicable to the dependent partner and children. Now, you need to see the occupation. If your occupation is in shortage occupation, for example, graphic designers, web developers, they are in shortage occupation. So if your occupation is in shortage occupation, the SMS level 1 user will confirm this in a certificate of sponsorship. They will tick the box that this occupation is in shortage occupation. Then you will not pay the standard fee. So for shortage occupation, you can see at the bottom of the slide is 551 if you are applying for 3 years visa and £1,084 if you are applying for more than 3 years. This fee is same for the applicants applying from within the UK or from outside the UK. There is no difference. Yes, other costs. This is very significant now. It will be very costly affair to get the visas from 16 January because now the health surcharge is only £624 per year per person. But from 16 January 2024, this will be increased to 1,035 per person per year. So it will be very costly affair. So, and you cannot pay it on yearly basis. You need to pay in one go when you submit your visa application. So here you need to remember application fee, health surcharge, this is to be paid by the employee, but the course assigned fee and the immigration skill charge has to be paid by the company. Okay. Now, in addition to this, if you want to opt for priority service, you need to pay that fee as well, which may be like in India, in Pakistan, in some countries, depending on the currency conversion rate, it is around 250 to 300 pound. And in the UK, you will pay 500 for 5 days priority and same day, if you take super priority, 800 pound. So this is your choice. This is optional. This is not mandatory. The mandatory is only the application fee and health surcharge. Okay, now you got everything. You got your visa. You lived in the UK for 5 years on a skilled worker visa. Now, now the time has come to apply for settlement in the UK or say permanent residency. After 5 years on a skilled worker visa, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. And 1 year thereafter, you can apply for British nationality and British passport. Previously, it was red. Now, the color of the passport is blue. Am I right, Vici?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you like blue or red? Which color do you like?
Right.
Red.
Yeah.
They will not give you red passport. I think it is because of UK's exit from EU. They changed the color.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. Anyway, it's now blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now I think we can take the questions and we can interact with the audience. So I'm done with the information on self-sponsorship route